I sat in the backseat, cradling Ladybird as she slept soundly in my lap. Today marked a significant transition. Moving day. My mother and soon-to-be stepfather were merging our families. He resided in a mobile home situated on an animal ranch. He mentioned working with animals daily, and our new home being nestled amidst various enclosures. I envisioned myself wandering outside, planting a kiss on each cow's soft snoot. However, confusion set in when he turned onto a residential street just off the freeway. At 6 years old, I knew ranches belonged in the countryside, yet he parked in front of a white gate. My mom stepped out to unlock it, allowing us to drive through. As she secured the gate behind us, I surveyed the surroundings. A long road lined with white fencing stretched ahead, but there wasn't a cow in sight. What I did see left me astonished. Animals were present, but not the typical ranch inhabitants. My stepfather had deliberately omitted that we were moving to an exotic animal ranch. He drove too quickly up the driveway for me to fully absorb each enclosure. Turning around, he exclaimed, "Welcome to the 100-acre ranch." We pulled up to our new home, and as I stepped out, I was greeted by my stepfather's nearly 120-pound dog, Wolf, who was indeed part wolf. Despite his imposing size, he wasn't intimidating. All he desired was affection, and to be acknowledged as a good boy. Being the smaller one, Wolf immediately began licking my face, much to Ladybird's displeasure. She barked him back up the steps, startling him. After unloading and ordering pizza, my stepfather took us on a tour. There was a vast field housing ill-tempered llamas that screamed and spat at the sight of humans, a small wooden structure sheltered guinea rabbits and various insects. 2 emus preferred solitude, while 6 small wallabies required an electrical fence due to their aggression. I was strictly forbidden from approaching them. Some animals kept their distance, but others craved constant attention. Baby, the ostrich, was my dad's favorite. She'd get excited upon seeing him approach with food, but detested his smoking. The Fresno bee once featured a story on the ranch, capturing a photo of Baby snatching a cigarette right from my stepfather's mouth. An ornery zonkey, aptly named Zonky, resembled an ordinary mule at first glance. Up close, faint black stripes adorned her dark gray legs. She was the closest mammal to the house. Often, my stepsisters and I would grab the salt lick to entice her, allowing us to shower her with affection. In our backyard resided a pair of disabled Saurus cranes. Unable to fly, they roamed a large marshy enclosure. My stepfather disliked them. Nearly as tall as his chest, they'd swarm him during feeding times, eager for food. With my arrival, he'd hoist me onto his shoulders during feedings so I could pour, using big gulp cups on his hands to gently fend them off. Then there was Sweet Pea, the African water buffalo. Raised in captivity, she was essentially a massive water cow with her own filtered pond. My stepsisters and I weren't afraid to don swimsuits and join her for a dip. Gentle as could be, she developed a habit of meeting me at the gate when I returned from school. I'd climb into her enclosure, and she'd accompany me back to the house. I'd plant a kiss on her snoot before heading inside each day. To me, these animals were cherished pets. At 6, I proudly told classmates about my pet wallabies and African water buffalo. Skepticism prevailed until a fellow bus rider corroborated my tales. Our time was brief before my stepdad had to relinquish Wolf. His wolf heritage required a special license, and with plans to leave the ranch, my stepfather sent Wolf to a sanctuary. It broke my heart. No offense to Ladybird, but Wolf was the ultimate cuddler, a living pillow and blanket combined. I often wonder about his fate. My stepfather frequently clashed with his employers, the Bonadelli family, one of Fresno's most affluent and influential clans. Their visits could upend his usually calm demeanor. Eventually, tensions escalated, leading him to resign. I vividly recall our final departure. The only animal I could bid farewell to was Zonky. She allowed me to nuzzle into her neck as she enjoyed the salt lick, knowing I'd never see these animals again weighed heavily on me. We left as we arrived, me in the back seat with Ladybird asleep in my lap. The Bonadellis eventually sold the animals and the property. Within a few years, it transformed into one of Fresno's renowned attractions, the Island Water Park. Visiting as a teenager, the drive stirred a whirlwind of emotions. The parking lot now occupied the space where the gate once stood. Determined to enjoy myself, I did, yet while waiting in line for one of the taller slides, I glimpsed the undeveloped land beyond the park. Empty enclosures and the small wooden building that once housed bunnies and insects remained. Further down the property line stood the abandoned mobile home that was once our family residence. Initially, the sight of my old home, isolated in a field, evoked deep melancholy. But as I settled into the inner tube, awaiting my turn to slide, I glanced up at the sky. My stepfather had been gone for nearly a decade by then, but in that moment, he felt profoundly close. Wiping away a final tear, I embraced the exhilarating descent. Later, floating along the lazy river, I closed my eyes and reminisced about swimming with Sweet Pea. Given the choice, I'd choose those cherished moments over the water park any day.